So I get asked a lot about how I became a leadership coach or a business coach and a trainer, because my history is of performing. Very briefly, I was a street performer. I went to circus school in '96. I was a street performer in Covent Garden, where I learnt that it was all about communication. That's how you got your. I did a 40-minute show that you get a massive audience, and then they would pay you. So it's not busking where people are walking past. It's you stop them, you do a show, you entertain them, make them laugh, and then you do a speech about money, and then they all come forward with £1, £2, £5, or £10. So you're talking about a couple of £100 a show a lot of the time, and I learned then it was all about communication. It wasn't about the tricks you were doing. It wasn't about the clever stuff. It was all about just how you created rapport with those people. And I learned to create rapport with an audience of many different types of people, very eclectic group of people. And then I moved from street performing, I moved up to Sheffield, and I needed to start learning how to run a business, because I was going back to London, over 15 years ago, going back to London and street performing, and then at weekends and coming back, and it just didn't fit in with family, and I stopped enjoying it. So I was a magician at the same time, and I was doing corporate gigs at the same time, and I thought, no, I need to do more of the gigs, more of the bookings, and I realised that I wanted to, create that myself rather than rely on people like agents, which I did have, but agents have 200 magicians on their books. So I read a lot of self-development books, and how to be proactive, and how to start twisting my mind towards being a businessman and all that stuff. It terrified me. I didn't know how to talk to people in organisations. I didn't know how to speak to people that, you walk into it and they're sitting in an office. It was so alien to me. And luckily I found a guy called Richard Field, who was a hobbyist magician, and we did a skill swap. He coached me, he put me on the Integral Leadership course, which I now facilitate on. And I taught him magic, and slowly he, mentored me, and I began to think differently and look at the world a bit differently and look at my place in it a bit differently, and understand that actually, I could do this. I could be a businessman. And I got rid of all that self-doubt that I had about, I'm a performer, I'm not a businessman, and understanding those labels aren't very helpful, and we are what we want to be. So so that sort of turned me around, and then I did a lot of study on self-development and learned my own models and my own way of doing things. I started doing talks. When I was booked to do magic performances, they'd say, "Oh, we heard you did a bit of that. You do a bit of this, and can you come and do that for us?" And I would do that. So it was a slow thing, and then there was just a tipping point a few years ago, and I said, "You know what? I don't want to be getting home at 3 o'clock in the morning from magic gigs. I've got 2 kids. I'm now a single dad with 2 kids. I have them 40% of the time, so." I decided I wanted to do more of the coaching and the speaking and the training. And luckily, the guys from Integral Leadership said, "Look, Steve, we think you'd be great to sort of take this over. We're all retiring soon, and we want somebody that knows his stuff." So a few years ago, I started, working with them and learning how to run the course, and which I already knew because I'd been on the course. So just getting more and more knowledge about the stuff. So that's how I got into it. Now I'm on a master's, coaching and mentoring master's, which is, more for the one-to-one coaching, but it really helps the one-to-one leadership training as well. So you've got my ability as a coach and as a leadership trainer all sort of packaged up now, which is a really nice position to be in.